Good morning. So I had to move all of the plant pots off the windowsills and various things last night because it was really windy, and I've put them all down there. So they all seem quite sheltered. I don't think I've lost anything. I'd be surprised. It's sort of all hiding on the floor. But the winds have calmed down, so I think I'm going to put everything back. It's just back to normal winteriness now.
Welcome to another episode of Toby's Stupid Vlogmas.
Well, M&S is some sort of ridiculous bun fight with freshly baked buns. It's ridiculous in there. It's like it's the day before Christmas. Everyone's just gone completely bonkers on like 400 turkeys. So I have a question for you, and for once I don't have an answer, but it's something that's worth thinking about because it will affect you, frankly, if not immediately, then at some point in your life. And it could affect the country as a whole quite dramatically. Anyway, this question is provoked because some idiot downstairs has got a Back Heathrow campaign poster in their window, which is just unbelievably misguided and based on a lot of misinformation coming from the airport. But my question is, more generally, how are planes going to be powered when we no longer use fossil fuels? I think we all acknowledge that the time is coming, and it's not far away, when cars won't be able to burn petroleum because it'll be either too expensive, or we will have acknowledged finally that we cannot continue to pump that many greenhouse gases into the atmosphere because it's just not good for us, regardless of how many there are, how much petrol there is left. So the same question will ultimately apply to plane travel, because making aircraft fuel is even more difficult than making conventional petroleum, and it is very, very polluting. And again, there's got to be a next step. So what is the next step? How is a plane going to be powered if it's not burning fossil fuel? I'd like you to think about that because it'll happen in your lifetime. And I don't have an answer, so I'd really like to know one, please. To clarify my comments, I don't think that expanding Heathrow is a very smart idea because, one, it flies predominantly over urban areas which are already subject to a lot of pollution and noise pollution. Secondarily, Heathrow will not cease to exist if it doesn't expand. It will just reach capacity and it will stay there, so no jobs are at risk. And thirdly, the whole idea that we should expand infrastructure in the southeast even further is nuts. Surely we should be looking to bring trade to other parts of the United Kingdom directly rather than bring them into Heathrow and then driving them, which is slightly idiotic, especially if we're trying to get away from this idea that everyone lives in one city, which is rather silly. As for future of aircraft, just to point you in the sort of direction that I've been hypothesising, cars have gone electric. Can planes go electric? Can we generate enough power for a long enough time to keep a plane in the air? Well, currently we can't, but do you genuinely foresee a time when we can do that? Electric planes powered by, I don't know, we could probably get some sort of... See, this is where I really struggle. Like, could you generate some wind power from the drag of the aircraft as you're flying to help keep the batteries powered? Is there enough solar power to help charge the batteries? And where do you get the initial source from of the aircraft? Would you plug it in at the wall? And where does that power come from? That can't come from burning coal, or the whole point is lost. What about a nuclear plane? You have nuclear submarines. The same principle could surely apply. I'm sure people don't like the idea of them falling out of the sky with a nuclear reactor on board. But again, those things don't tend to just blow up when you hit a wall with them. So anyway, there we go. Some few ideas. Let me know what you think. So I've come here into the gardens today because I figured that it might be nice to have something slightly festive after all this talk about infrastructure changes and planes of the future. What could be cuter than kids singing Christmas songs? There we go. You should have some festive spirit by now. If not, damn you. Look, noisy, polluting planes that fly over 90 seconds. Let's have more over this botanical conservation area. So there's a lot of doors around here and windowsills and what have you, painted that light green colour. You can see it on the church as well. In fact, it's everywhere. It's in the gardens and outside the gardens and what have you. And it's a very pale minty green, but it's ever so prevalent in Kew for some reason or another, and I call it Kew Green because of that, not least because you find it on Kew Green. But yeah, if you ever come to Kew, you will notice a lot of doors of that colour. Strange, useless facts about Kew. Been wandering on the shops now for about half an hour trying to find ribbon, and of course, where do I end up back with ribbon? M&S, of course. Ridiculous. Anyway, they do have some nice things around here. Since we're on planes today, I'm not quite sure how this actually makes any sense when you have this. I think what this week has proved is how difficult daily vlogging actually is. I have an enormous amount of admiration now for those people who do this on a daily basis. It's much, much harder than it looks. It requires much more thought and concentration and time than you think. But we're not going to stop here. I did say vlogmas, and it will continue all the way through Christmas. And I think as it stands, the last daily vlog will be the 2nd of January, in fact, so I can start again weeklies on a Saturday. So thank you for watching week 1 and day 7 and all of those things. And I will hopefully see you tomorrow. And of course, if you want to be reminded when the video goes up, the best bet is to click the red subscribe button and then it will tell you. Thanks for watching.
Toby Stupid Vlogmas.